Okay, so in this clip, we would like to explore the other possibilities of emitting fluids with respect to the polygon object, but this time we're also going to utilize the emission maps. So I'll let you know the concept, what exactly is the emission map. It simply means that we do have a polygon piece of the geometry, and since it also need to have some UV layout, only then we're able to harness the capabilities of the textures. So for an example, we do have a piece of a plane and we do apply a ramp texture upon it, and we have concentric circle which the white colors are filled inside the circular region of the ramp, and rest of the section is black, and that shader has been put it upon to the piece of a polygon plane. So we have the facility to emit the fluids only from the white zone, so you may could say where the pixel values are high, or you may could say where the texture values are a little bit more higher. So in the white regions we can able to emit the fluids. So let's just get started with that process. So need to go to the FX menu and click the fluids. Under the fluids menu we have the 3D containers. All right, so as you see I don't have any emitter over here, so first we'd like to draw a plane. I can also scale that up a little bit, and I can put it to a certain distance. And one thing we need to make sure is that it definitely need to have the UV. So in this case the implicitly UV have been already created, so we just don't need to create any other else. We need to have additional UVs for that. It has already been assigned to the primitive. So what else we need to do is that we need to go to the hypershade. So we need to go inside the hypershade, and I can press the tab and I can, let's say, write the ramp. So we could get the ramp textures. That's pretty much great way of working, and we have the Lambert as well. That's pretty much good. And I can click the out color with the color of the you know Lambert. I can select the object, the polygon mesh, and assign material to the selections. So pressing 6 will going to give me the impact of the textures. And I also want to change certain attributes. So for that I wanted to put the interpolation to the none, so which means the distribution of these two color entry list, and I want to give the inverse, and we'd like to change the type to the circular. Okay, so the concept is that the fluid has to get emit only from the circular region of this polygon plane. Okay, I can also give you one better example. Let's suppose you need to burn, or you need to emit fluid from the door, and you want only certain section of the door that should emit the fluids. So in that case you can select the object, which is a polygon piece of the geometry. You can select the polygon object, select the fluid, and go for this, the emit from the object. Things will get solved. But the problem is that the fluid will going to get emitted from the entire door or from the entire piece of the geometry. So what we could do is that if we have the UV layouting done, we could paint those areas, or we could sample out the pixels so that the fluid will going to emit only from the bottom section of the door. So instead of applying fluid from the whole sections of the polygon piece of the geometry, we can sample out the things. All right, and that is very great, and that is very helpful. So now the case is that how do we going to do that? So we need to go inside the fluid containers. Under the fluid emitters we have the density emission map facility. Okay, first do one thing, let's just get rid of the heat map and the fuel, so to avoid any confusions. Okay, and the density voxels per second will going to remain 1, or you may could also increase to 2 or 3 depending upon your own artistic decisions. But here we do have the facility to introduce the emission maps. All right, so inside the hypershade I have got this ramp textures. I have got this name, I think so. This is the ramp 1. Let's say I change the name, let's say the circle. Alright, so what I need to do in that case, I need to go inside the fluid and let's say type CIRCLE, enter. So that means now the map has been assigned, which is this one. And if you would like to see the change, first of all you need to increase the resolution of the fluids, because at this resolution it will be very hard to visualize, and get rid of this bottom sections. Okay, so purposely I press the 5 hotkey of the keyboard because I want to see that only this particular area is required to emit the fluid. So let's play the timeline and see, and definitely something is going good. So it's taking a little bit more time to get simulate. So I can also play around with the, let us say, the overall area of the fluid. So with this, it will take a little bit more faster to simulate the fluids, and I can also increase the density, let's say 3, and let's say we're also going to bring some more turbulence inside that, so that we're really going to help us in achieving the result a little bit more faster. So now you can see that we have sampled out the entire polygon plane, and instead of emitting the fluid from the whole sections of this polygon piece of the geometry, we are just emitting the fluids from the particular sampled area. Alright, if you press 6, you can notice that the fluids are being getting emitted only from this piece of the circle. And the interesting thing is also, this is actually a sky high concept again. Further you like to tweak down the values of your texture, so you're going to see that alright, now the fluids will going to move from these particular areas. Alright, that is, yeah, particularly that's pretty good, no problem. So let me just rewind that thing, and now you're gonna notice that the fluids are be getting coming from those white pixels, and we do have a very less resolution. So if in case I can increase the resolutions, so definitely you're gonna notice that the sample will going to be very very high, and the fluid will very going to be it would be really very easily noticeable. And again, very good thing I could tell you, that is, you can also animate the values of this noise, or you may could add another like we have the white color texture inside this, we can also add the noise texture. So what this will going to do is that you can increase the amplitude to 2, maybe something like this, and can okay, something like this, and use the inflections, maybe the depth map, and we can get rid of this frequencies and all. So with that, you can also animate with respect to the time. So what it will really going to do, that it will keep animating the things, so it might really gonna help you in emitting the smoke, or you may could say the other elements inside your scenes, or you may could visualize to a very greater extent. It's not something only limited to the scope of emitting fluids from the from the texture. You could also take it to the next level. All right, so I hope so it makes sense, and the concept is pretty much clear to all of you. So now it's time to move to the next clip, where I would like to show you the emission of the fluids with respect to the particles.